It's Travel Tuesday, but before you buy that trip or head to the airport, you better know what you're getting into, especially with the holiday travel season starting up in just a few days. Can you believe it? Joining us now with his picks and pans, our good friend and CBS travel editor, Peter Greenberg. Good morning, Peter.
And good morning to you.
All right, of course, we all know Thanksgiving just over a week away. But apart from long lines, what should folks be prepared for this holiday travel season? For instance, are more people going to be traveling?
More people are. In fact, according to AAA, we're talking about 80 million people, most of them by car. Most of them are smart and getting a head start as of this coming weekend and not waiting for that dreaded Wednesday before Thanksgiving. And even worse, the Sunday after Thanksgiving, the two worst days of the year to be traveling. If you can avoid those 2 days, you got half the battle won.
All right, so planning ahead is key, and if you haven't done that already, too bad for you. After two failed attempts at a merger, Spirit Airlines has officially filed for bankruptcy, which, was sort of kind of looming out there. Should people be worried if they've purchased plane tickets with Spirit? Could this impact their holiday travel at all?
More than likely it won't. This is a Chapter 11 reorganization filing. It's not a Chapter 7 liquidation filing. Spirit will continue to operate. But one caution, over the last couple of months, Spirit has been furloughing a lot of pilots. They've been cutting a lot of routes. They're starting to sell some planes. So always call to make sure that your flight is actually operating. But the airline itself will continue to operate while it is reorganizing under Chapter 11.
Okay, good to know. And a lot of people this time of year also thinking about spending time with family, dealing with long lines, big crowds, all that fun stuff. But on your site, petergreenberg.com, you wrote something for folks with the opposite approach to the holidays, solitude. What do you find out about the loneliest train stations in America?
Well, you know what? It's interesting. Amtrak ridership is way up year over year, and that's good news. But there are some train stations in America that have fewer people getting on the train in a year than there are days in the year. We're talking under 270 people going on the trains at some stations. That's pretty lonely. And what's worse is that they may lose service soon because you can't financially justify it. A lot of those stations are in places like Virginia, some in Arizona, some in Texas. As the Sunset Limited goes by, or the Empire Builder, or the Capitol. The good news is, again, Amtrak ridership up, but a lot of stations may see service bypass them if not enough people are traveling from those stations.
What's the solution for that? Maybe advertising more, right? Like, hey, by the way, you can get on a train here at this lonely station.
Well, I'll tell you a story. It happened to me a couple of years ago. I was in Richmond, Virginia. I needed to get to LaGuardia. There was only one flight out during the day, a Delta Airlines plane with a ridiculously high airfare of about $800. And the concierge at the hotel told me, if you go down to the train station tomorrow morning at 4:30 in the morning, the Silver Meteor shows up. Sounds like a bad Richard Pryor movie.
Yeah.
And I said, really? I went down there. I was the only one at the station. And sure enough, at 4:30, here comes that train. I bought a sleeper compartment. I had a dining room for $170, not $800. I went to sleep. I woke up 2 hours ahead of when I would have arrived on Delta. So you know what? That was a lonely station, but it worked for me.
Yeah, so ask questions, explore other options. And by the way, you and I definitely would know what Richard Pryor movie you are talking about. Not everyone would. All right, Peter
Absolutely.
Greenberg. Yeah, Silver Streak, it might have been called. Anyway, CBS travel editor Peter Greenberg, thanks as always for joining us. We'll see you next week.
You got it, Dana.
All right.